Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives 4E channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Greetings from Plathville. Devoutly Christian Lydia Plath appears to be quite innocent, but she actually has a sinister side. She has a reputation for being the most submissive Plath child. She helped with the children's homeschooling and did the dishwashing. She actually resembled a modern-day Cinderella, although one without the Prince Charming. While her daughter developed dishpan hands, Kim prattled around. Today, Lydia is more self-reliant, and there have been instances throughout her journey in the series and off-screen when she didn't seem nearly so mild and meek. The Plath family and Olivia Plath are at odds in Welcome to Plathville Season 5. Lydia has never been a huge admirer of Olivia. She hasn't been disrespectful to her sister-in-law, but she has made clear how she feels. Lydia has learned a lot from Kim and Barry Plath, perhaps too much. Lydia for a while resembled Kim's mini-me. She is still much the same today, but there have been some small personality changes that may have resulted from aging. Kim and Barry's separation may have contributed to some of her evolution. She had to handle her relationships with them both, and she likely began to think more about herself. Perhaps she wished to distance herself from some of the turmoil. Olivia is frequently accused of lying, and the Plaths are usually the source of criticism. She's never had an easy time with them because Kim and Barry didn't like her right away. She's having arguments with Mariah Plath, who she used to be close to, and Kim won't talk to her this season. Lydia, who is fiercely devoted to her family, took exception to Olivia's claim that the Plaths are affiliated with the IBLP cult. That's all well, but perhaps she ought to have spoken to Olivia in private rather than publicly spreading their dirty laundry. After the release of the film Shiny Happy People, Duggar Family Secrets, Lydia became agitated. When the program first aired, Olivia claimed that the family had cult ties. Lydia then exploded. She asserted that the family was deeply ingrained in fundamentalism and purity culture, but she denied any affiliation with the IBLP. When Olivia reached adulthood, she wanted to leave the cult where she had been raised. She still supported the Christian faith, but desired a less constrained way of living. Lydia defended her family during an Instagram AMA. "No, it's not true," Lydia exclaimed. "We have never participated in the IBLP, and we never will. It wasn't until a few years back that I even learned what that was." Even though Lydia may have been hesitant to speak up, she did it nonetheless, which is likely why it hurt her friendship with Olivia. The sister-in-law of Sylvia Plath is not renowned for quitting easily. She is a courageous individual who will voice her ideas regardless of what others may think of them. So when Lydia openly attacked Olivia, she revealed a new side of herself. Her stoic persona didn't fit that villainous move. Lydia has made it abundantly plain on screen that she adores Ethan. It's understandable that she holds him in such high regard considering how kind and courteous he typically is. After enduring Kim and Barry's antics for so long, Ethan might appear like a calming presence. It may be argued, though, that Lydia ought to keep that sort of bitterness to herself. She shouldn't have displayed her hand in that manner while the cameras were rolling. When she does, it appears to indicate that she and Olivia are having issues. Since Lydia's reputation revolves around being kind, allowing her envy to surface makes her come across as bitter rather than sweet. It's known that Olivia and Ethan are having problems, so if they've already secretly broken up but haven't said anything, it's plausible that conflict between Olivia and Ethan's relatives drove them to do so. Ethan has expressed that he is caught in the middle in Welcome to Plathville Season 5, and that the conflicts have made him angrier as the seasons have gone on. That seems sense, but if Lydia displays her envy, it could harm her brother. If Lydia can't surround him with individuals who are supportive of their relationship, she is failing him. Lydia is completely devoted to Jesus, and she has become quite dramatic in her demonstration of her devotion. One example is the prayer room where she used to hide. Lydia prayed openly there, pleading with Jesus to watch over her family. It was moving on the one hand, but it also had a fake quality to it. Even while prayer isn't necessarily a private act, it is generally assumed to be when there is a prayer closet present. It frequently feels more theatrical with her. The tone of the post above is a touch cheesy, but Lydia becomes celestial simply staring up into the sky. She is quite candid about her faith online, and there is nothing wrong with that. The only problem is that she's utilizing those religious posts to increase her influence. Although Lydia is actually pretty aggressively promoting herself on Instagram, most people definitely wouldn't classify her as a clout chaser. Whether she meant it or not, Christianity is a part of her brand. There is always a chance that it was done on purpose. As Lydia promotes a new song called I'll Carry You, which honors her faith, she is either leveraging her faith to gain money or trying to. Lydia defended several hazy regulations as one of the main defenders of the faith in Kim and Barry's home. The Plath children, for instance, were essentially kept off from modern culture in order to preserve them ultra-pure. They were confined to a remote part of Cairo, Georgia, where they were forbidden to eat sweets, couldn't use the internet without adult supervision, and had to get permission before making any social ties. Lydia discovered the hard way that nothing is private when she attempted to text a male. She may not need to be supporting her parents at all, given how annoying she finds their draconian regulations. There are younger Plath children who are subject to these limitations. They can struggle to develop in the future because they were never exposed to the realities of life. Ethan had trouble adjusting to the contemporary environment, and his younger siblings might as well. Even as she makes a clear effort to please her parents and is obviously very loyal, it's entirely plausible that Kim and Barry are failing miserably as parents. Barry and Kim both grew up in typical families. Kim, for instance, was permitted to have fun while at college. Barry received a conventional education, which helped him land a decent position in the transportation sector. The education given to the Plath children, on the other hand, has drawn criticism. Are they actually being prepared for the future by their homeschooling? Kim and Barry appear to prefer keeping their kids in a cocoon over letting them fly. Olivia misses out on various experiences because she is the submissive Plath child and Mariah is the wild child. Despite Lydia's growing independence and recent road trip, she is unable to experience the sense of liberation that comes with breaking the law. It's acceptable to state that some of Kim and Barry's rules should be disregarded, even if every rule should be followed. Would the Plath family be able to reach their full potential if no one dared to rebel? Most likely not. Micah Plath, for instance, began modeling. He would pose provocatively with women and occasionally perform shirtless. It's clear that Kim and Barry don't want him to strike that posture. Even so, he persists, and today he is pretty prosperous. He broke the norms that were impeding his own growth and decided to put his interests ahead of Kim and Barry's utopia. That was a wise decision. As she searches for herself, Maria has encountered more turbulence. Although her disobedience was important, the road hasn't always been easy. She and Barry discussed dealing with depression in the new season. That's terribly terrible, but Mariah was also very miserable before she started experimenting with life. Lydia might never actually rebel. She might stray, but staying in her lane is more likely. She appears at ease with many of Kim and Barry's old rules. Even Kim is no longer adhering to those guidelines. Kim is truly rebelling, and Lydia could eventually want to do the same. She might not achieve her full potential if she doesn't take risks. Lydia is highly intelligent, thus she might perhaps rebel without suffering any consequences, whereas Kim went too far and was ultimately arrested for DUI. Despite having grown up in a large family, Lydia still feels awkward when others admire her. This is odd because a compliment is a nice vibe coming from someone else. It's meant to be encouraging. That Lydia wants people to stop appreciating her strikes me as a little dubious. It looks to be an effort to appear modest and holy. She comes out as very self-assured on Instagram, so there might be some false modesty at work. While it's admirable to be humble, people should also be able to accept compliments from others without feeling offended. What type of world would exist if no one ever gave praise to others? It would be considerably more miserable. Lydia might gain from altering her perspective on compliments. Instead of making her feel uncomfortable, they're made to make her feel fantastic. Genuinely sincere compliments in particular should be received with excitement. Why should being overly demonstrative make the person who is receiving the compliment feel bad? Nothing about it makes sense. Warmth should always be reciprocated. After their breakup, Lydia appeared to violate the girl code when she asked Mariah if she may hang out with Max Kohlschmidt from Welcome to Plathville. That request was probably the last thing Mariah wanted to hear at that point. She could have thought it was a betrayal. It also seemed to have some dubious undertones. It appeared like Lydia might be attracted to her sister's ex romantically. Even while that might not be the case, it didn't provide the best impression. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.